with Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the TeamMates mentoring program today.
Load up on meat and more this spring at The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to The Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes. Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today. There's lots of sunshine. It'll be breezy and warm with an afternoon high near 90. Tonight, mainly clear skies and continued breeze, a low near 63. And tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies, be breezy and warm, although showers was possible late. See a high near 92. I'm meteorologist Kyle Bucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Hey, it's your girl Jordan from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. It's official. Wedding season is here, and we know that every detail counts. From bridal party gifts to the finishing touches for the bride and groom, discover our exclusive selection of watches and fine jewelry. Did you know we even offer in-house engraving? Celebrate your special day with a personal touch and a timeless gift they'll cherish forever. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio. From the heart of Lincoln, America. Expanding awareness about the TeamMates program and the ever-growing need for mentors. This is TeamMates Timeout with TeamMates CEO Des Moines Adams and Marketing and Communications Manager Ashton Otter.
Well, hello, everyone who's watching, who's listening. You are live. TeamMates Timeout. DeMo and Ash are actually here. Yes. We probably don't even look recognizable because I normally have on my hat. So for those of you that know, I am bald by choice, not by age. But we had a nice luncheon that we had to go to. We had to bring our A game. Last week I was up in Laurel, Concord, Coal Ridge, Nebraska, celebrating 17 TeamMates seniors who all graduated, all received scholarships. I took them crumble cookie. That was our highlight. They didn't care about me. They just cared about the crumble cookie. But today is not about us. It's about our special guests. When I think of tradition, when I think of legacy, when I think of family, no one does it better than our special guest, who is a part of a family that has pretty much created something special for Lincoln, but not just Lincoln, and we're going to get to it. From Union Bank and Trust, we have Jake Muirhausen in the house. Jake, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
The voice of basketball. I mean, like in terms of picking who can we get from Union, I mean, it was a no-brainer. I mean, Jake is the guy. Jake is the personality.
Well,
and a former Husker.
I don't know about that. And when you say the voice of basketball, Kent Pavelka is the voice of basketball. I'm his sidekick.
Hey, I'm a little biased, man. I think you're cooler than the others, but we're happy to have you. I mean, we're going to talk basketball. We're going to talk Union Bank and Trust because teammates mentoring, there is this rich history between the two. And then there's a ripple effect with some other things that have occurred that allows us to be sustainable, just like you all. But, Jake, yes, as Ash mentioned, we're former Huskers. So I'm going to let Ash introduce you because for a lot of these young people, they don't appreciate the good old days.
No, we're getting old, man. That's the problem.
No. It's just, I mean, I don't even think people realize how much the Huskers used to dunk when you played.
All the time. I mean, I think I have like 117 dunks in my career.
Awesome.
I'm just joking. I may have 4. That's about it.
Well, Ash, I'll let you introduce Jake.
So Jake and I are both actually Southeast Knights. So let's just kick it off there. Go
Night
Knights.
Pride.
Yes. Jake is a former Husker men's basketball player, 4-year starter, 3-time team captain, 2-time academic all-conference selection. And I did my research today. I hopped on Huskers.com to check out some stats from back in the day. You are currently ranked 40th on Nebraska basketball's all-time career points chart with 911 points. And fun fact, Jake is also the Nebraska men's basketball color analyst in addition to his responsibilities at Union Bank and Trust. So welcome, Jake. We're so excited to have you.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So we're going to just dive right in.
Okay, let's go.
We're going to get after it. So basketball days. Let's start there first. Were you under Danny Nee or Barry Collier?
So I was under Barry Collier. I was recruited by Danny Nee, but if you remember, that was in the late 90s when Danny Nee was on the hot seat.
Yeah.
And he was getting criticized for not recruiting Lincoln or Nebraska kids. So he then reached out to myself and Jimmy Motes.
Jimmy Motes.
So I don't think he was really recruiting me because he liked my style of play. He recruited athletes, like long guys that could just dunk and block. And I didn't really fit that. So I think he was recruiting Jimmy and I just to fill that role. And then he got fired in 99 and then Barry came in 2000. So Barry's second year was my first year.
And why'd you pick Nebraska?
Because it's my hometown. It was funny because on our recruiting trip, we go in there and we're talking to Barry in his office and he offers me a scholarship and I accept immediately without talking to my parents at all. And
really?
We leave and my dad's like, "You didn't want to talk about that?" I said, "No, I know where I want to go."
Yeah.
There was no choice, no thought in that. When they offered me a scholarship, I was coming here. I wanted to wear the red. I wanted to wear the Nebraska N. And I wanted to, we're still in this boat, unfortunately, but I wanted to be on a team that won that first NCAA tournament. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, 25 years later, we're still here.
We are. So I know you got your MBA from Creighton.
I did.
So you're a J-sker.
I'm a J-sker, Ashton, and so I wanted to be a college coach after playing, and I was actually a GA under Dana Altman for 2 years. So not only did I get my MBA there, I went and coached there for 2 years. And the reason I did that, I thought about trying to do that here, but I knew the system that Barry ran so well that I wanted to see how a different coach did it. So no
big deal under Dana. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Now.
So I go up there and I got a lot of crap for that, which I get. But it was the first 3 months I did not like it at all because I'm wearing Creighton gear and I just wanted to rip it off. I couldn't stand it. But then once I got to know them and you know, Dana was such a good guy. Darren DeVries, who was now the head coach in Indiana, he was my office mate.
Oh, really?
So I had to share an office with him my 2 years, which was great. He probably didn't like it, but I really enjoyed it. And then their AD, Bruce Rasmussen, was fantastic.
We love Bruce. He's a huge teammates
the
advocate.
people there were great, but now I do not like J-Skers at all, even though I was once one of them.
So tell us how you got to become a color analyst.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just fell into it. I got really lucky. I was telling you all before coming on the air where Matt Davison was the color analyst for I don't know how long, and then he would have me sub in for him when he was doing the Thanksgiving game, or he would send me all the crappy Big Ten road trips in February to Penn State, Rutgers, you know, the ones that are just kind of hard to get to. So I was subbing in. I probably did 4 or 5 games a year. And then when Matt got promoted, when Scott Frost was hired, he wasn't able to do basketball anymore. So they asked if I wanted to do it full time. So this was it was either my 7th or 8th year doing it full time. So I just kind of fell into it, and I haven't dropped an F-bomb on the air yet. So they let me keep doing it.
Now, because of your experience as a color analyst, your voice is very recognizable, especially to Nebraskans all across the state. How can you use your voice, like right now, to tell those folks who are maybe on the fence about mentoring why they should do it?
I mean, to me, that's easy. Where, you know, growing up, it doesn't matter where you're growing up in any state, any city, you always have people you look up to, and it doesn't matter if it's a friend, you know, aunt or uncle, brother, sister, coach, and the impact that those people make on young kids' lives, whether they're, you know, 5 years old, 10 years old, 15 years old, doesn't matter.
Right.
When someone in their life has a positive impact on them, it means a world of difference. I mean, just think about the people that have impacted you guys to help you get to where you're today. And, you know, I'll use Barry Collier as an example. That he was my coach, but you don't really realize until you're away from him. And, you know, when he retired, I wanted to make sure I let him know how big of an impact he had on my life. And Coach Jeff Smith here in Lincoln, and you know, he was the coach at Southeast for a long time. You know, I still stay in contact with him. Just a lot of guys like that. Ryan Pfeiffer, who was my JV coach at Southeast, he's now at Blue Valley North down in Kansas City. I mean, you don't even realize it till you're apart from them on how instrumental they were in kind of molding you into the person you are. So that's just, if someone's on the fence on trying to figure out if they want to be a mentor, it's not only rewarding for the person they're mentoring, it's rewarding for them as well. Because you learn a lot about yourself when you're trying to give a young person advice.
I love how you said you don't know the impact they have on you until you're away from it. So you probably played football for Coach John Larson.
For Mazursky. Well, I played with but Coach Larson was my reserve coach. Yes.
So I played for Larson for 4 years. And when DeMo was gone one day, I invited Coach to come down.
Oh, man.
It was a hoot.
I bet that was wild.
It was great. And then, but to your point of not realizing what they do for you as not only a player, but as a human and shaping you into who you are. Like anytime I see Coach, like I always tell him, because I'm like that, I would to this day run through a wall for that man and everything that he's done for me as not only as a player, but as a human. And so that is like hand in hand to that mentor-mentee relationship as well.
And, you know, you mentioned that sometimes those coaches don't really know the impact that they had on people, players, and how us players, we look up to certain people. Let's say for me, I still call Coach Osborne coach.
Yep.
There are a lot of adults out there, they don't realize that they're role models. And I want to say we had a special guest that made the comment, you know, people are role models, whether they like it or not, be a positive one. So when you say it's important for adults to know that there are young people out there that want to, you know, that they're looking for people to look up to, elaborate, what are kids looking up to and what are they looking for?
They're just looking for consistency, I think. I think that's the main thing, where someone's just showing up for them on a consistent basis. And whether that's, you know, at home, at practice, at work. It doesn't matter. I just think it's consistency and them showing up to where if they have a question, if they need something, or if they just want to talk to someone and hang out, that adult, they're answering the phone, shooting them a text, showing up. I think consistency is a big part of that. And then just, I think on where you're trying to set that example, not only by what you're saying, by what you're doing.
Right.
I mean, we can all talk and get them, but if they're not walking the walk, that I think they need to lead by example as well.
Yeah. One of the things that we talk about and we walk the walk when we train anyone who becomes a mentor is our core values. And one of our core values is commitment to students. And that's the consistency that we ask mentors when they sign up. We're asking you to meet with a student once a week at the school during a school day for just 30 to 45 minutes during the school year. So that's the consistency. And our data shows that when mentors can meet with a student at least 24 times out of 38, 39 weeks in the school year, that increases level of trust. It increases hope. And hope is that indicator that really leads to success in the classroom and outside of the classroom. And I know you're a numbers guy, so I got numbers to share with you in the second segment. But, I want to go back to that Husker end because it was something that drew you to it. And to this day, you're still drawn to it. What is it about that end? What does that end represent? Because then I'm going to ask you, when you explain what that end represent, what does the logo of TeamMates represent? So let's talk about that end. What drew you to that end? What does that end stand for?
To me, it embodies Nebraska. And I think that's just hard work and toughness. And that's what people talk about. And that's what fans, when they're watching teams play today, they want to see guys that are, and girls out there playing that are tough and that are hardworking and that are playing the right way, unselfish. And you talk about and hear about, when opposing teams come in here, how nice our fans are, but how loud we are.
Yeah.
But that's just growing up here and watching, I don't want to give Bo Reed a big head, but watching Bo Reed and Eric Piatkowski and Eric Strickland and those guys, they worked hard. They played the right way. They played unselfish. And that's, to me, what the end represents. I talk more about basketball, but obviously football was big in the early 90s as well. So you have a lot of guys there that, they were tough, gritty, and some bad dudes, but they played the right way.
So there was some consistency with, I would say, just behavior, attitude, winning. But not just with the players, but even you mentioned the fans. And so is it safe to say that there is a tradition behind an end?
Absolutely. And there's a lot of tradition behind it. Now, people don't want to admit that now because some of the struggles we've had in our main sport, but there is tradition.
Yeah.
And there's tradition not only on the field, but you look around Memorial Stadium, look at all the academic All-Americans we have too.
Yeah.
That's a tradition that, doesn't probably get talked enough about.
Yeah. So TeamMates mentoring, been around since 1991. We just celebrated 34 years last month. Since you grew up in Lincoln, I'm pretty sure Coach Osborne.
Yep.
What he's done on the field, but off the field, how familiar were you with the work that he was doing through TeamMates mentoring?
I probably didn't become aware of it until I got to college, and what it was and what it meant. But even going through college and then getting, a job here in town, you talk to a lot of people that are mentors for TeamMates and what the impact it has. And I have some good friends that have done it, and I think they're still doing it. And again, like I said earlier, it's not only rewarding for the mentee, it's really rewarding for the mentor as well.
Yeah. And so that logo, I know Ashton does a great job with, and you go to the basketball games. You go to any football games?
Maybe one a year. I'm that guy. I hate to admit, but I'm that guy.
But our logo, Ashton does a great job of putting that logo everywhere because we want people to feel the same way that you feel when you see that end and how others feel. Tell us what comes to mind when you see that TeamMates mentoring logo.
Well, I think the first thing that comes to mind is Coach Osborne.
Mhm.
I mean, because he's the mastermind behind it. So you think of him, and when I see him, and obviously you know him, Des Moines, where he just seems like a calming presence. I'm sure he could get after players a little bit and chew them out at times, but he just seems like a calming presence, and he's a guy that looks like you can talk to about anything at any time. So you think first that when you see that logo is Coach Osborne, but then I relate it to Nebraska. I just do. The people in Nebraska, that they're caring for each other, they're watching out for one another, and they'll always try to do the right thing and be there for when someone needs a little bit of help.
Mhm. Nailed it.
And communications, that's Ashton's expertise and stuff. And I feel like the both of you use your voice in a way to influence others, to get people excited, to kind of walk them, talk them, play by play or whatnot. Ashton, you've seen Jake in action.
Mhm.
What's something that if you were Jake, and then we're going to reverse it. If you were Jake, how could you walk play by play in basketball for the Huskers?
I don't even know the answer to that. So, like, when I was younger, because I'm not quite a few, I'm a couple years younger than Jake. But
Thanks. She's a lot younger than you then.
Calm down now.
Okay.
Calm down.
So, like, when I was growing up, like, and Southeast, during the years that you were there, we had some of the top athletes who, the majority of that crew, a good chunk of that crew went pro and all played D1 sports. And so I got to watch Jake, as a high school athlete. And then in Nebraska, obviously you associate yourself with, like, hey, I'm also going to go to Southeast. Like, he's going to be my favorite player. So being able to watch him, did you play with Cookie Belcher?
I did not. I went down and played a lot of pickup ball with Cookie,
Okay.
but he was 1 year before me.
He was one of my favorites too. But Jake in the play-by-play. Ask your question again, would you?
So if you were the voice, if you could be his voice doing a play-by-play Husker basketball game, how would you do it? If you were Jake.
We both just looked at each other.
All right. So I'll give you time. But Jake, if you were
But
in
Jake
her
has
seat,
a great, like, you and Kent compliment each other very well.
He's a legend now. He just turned 76. Kent did, by the way.
Wow.
Happy birthday, Kent. But this is year 50 for him. So I truly just follow his lead.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any experience. So I just come in and
DeMo, that's like what we're doing.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to say? I'm 77 here?
No.
That's exactly. She's trying to say that.
Because when DeMo and I started the show, I was only 2 months in to working at TeamMates. And so, like, that foundational knowledge was not there yet. So I was, like, trying to soak up as much as I could. So I always tell him, like, I love watching him do speaking engagements and the way he carries himself and presents himself and the way he talks about the brand. Because then I'm like, I need to absorb as much of that as I can, because then I will start speaking the same language.
So, Jake, before we go to break, if you were the voice of TeamMates, like, what wording, what messaging would you use? Like, I'm just putting you on the spot.
Mm-hmm.
You are now the voice of TeamMates. We need more mentors.
You want to just do the first thing that came to mind is just like a slogan, make an impact. Because I think that's what I would, kind of as a slogan, because just think about how many kids and lives that TeamMates has impacted.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say make an impact, it's not only on the mentee, but on the mentor, on what that would do for both sides of the desk, where it makes both people better. Where if you're going and giving advice to a young person, then that's a lot more likely that you're going to uphold those same standards of yourself, and you're going to think about those things more often. So I'd just say make an impact.
And DeMo, tell the listeners and the viewers the impact numbers. How many students have we served?
We served over 50,000 students who have been impacted by 50,000 mentors. 87% of mentors feel more engaged. So they are also impacted. So I like how you kind of slid that in, because mentors that are watching and listening, you get something from it as well. But at the end of the day, you're paying it forward. You're giving back. The greatest gift is your time. Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash. We got Jake Muehlhausen in the house. We're going to throw numbers at you, and we're going to talk about this relationship between Teammates and Union Bank and Trust here in the second segment. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 5.
Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Tailored Landscapes is actively preparing for spring. Things like new tree orders, getting equipment ready, and training staff to serve you the best they can. If you haven't already planned, now is the perfect time to figure out a maintenance plan for your yard. Tailored Landscapes is on the brink of spring cleanups for all their existing customers, and they have limited spots available. They trim trees and shrubs when needed and only mulch proper amounts. Give Tailored Landscapes a call at 402-432-2572 to set up a meeting with one of their designers and stop by the Tailored Life store in Bennett. Schwieso Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwieso Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwieso.com. That's SCHWISOW.com. Make plans to join 93.7 The Ticket and the Amon Green Foundation for the first annual Nebraska Esports Golf Tournament on Monday, June 9th at Wilderness Ridge. It's a 4-man scramble starting at 11 a.m. that will feature former Husker greats like Amon Green, Johnny Rogers, Niles Paul, Tony Davis, Adam Carricker, Vershawn Jackson, and more, with great prizes and great golf. Sponsorships are also available. Call or text us at 402-464-5685 with questions, or sign your team up online at theticketfm.com. Registration goes through May 30th.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Are you a skilled mechanic looking for your next opportunity? Nebco is hiring. They're looking for experienced mechanics to join our family-owned team. They offer competitive wages, great benefits, service trucks, OEM-level diagnostic software, and career growth opportunities. Apply today at nebco.com. Positions include lead and A-level mechanics for the Nebco shop. Learn more at nebco.com. If you're driven and ready to grow with a company that's been around since 1908, apply today at nebco.com.
Make your move fun and easy with the help of Movers and Shakers. Movers and Shakers is homegrown, female-led, and ready to help make your transition to a new space as seamless as possible. They excel at residential and commercial moving jobs, as well as offer home cleanouts and junk removal services. Moving into a new place is stressful enough, so let Movers and Shakers ease the transition. Give them a call today at 712-899-6265 or book your move online at www.moversandShakersNE.com today.
An hour ago, you didn't need a plumber. Now you're in a panic. When life throws you a surprise with a clogged drain, plugged or leaky toilet, broken pipe, leaky faucet or water heater, or a bathroom or kitchen plumbing upgrade, whatever. Just call Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111. Keep that number handy, 467-1111. Or go to BryantLincoln.com. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it twice a day.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it in the morning and before dinner.
I get it, slip it, cuff it, check it, and share it with my doctor. Nearly 1 in 2 U.S. adults have high blood pressure. That's why it's important to self-monitor your blood pressure in 4 easy-to-remember steps. It starts with a monitor.
Now that I know my blood pressure numbers, I talked with my doctor. We're getting those numbers down.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. Talk to doctor now and share it.
Be next to talk to your doctor about your blood pressure numbers. Get down with your blood pressure. Self-monitoring is power. Learn more at manageyourbp.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the American Heart Association, and the American Medical Association, in partnership with the Office of Minority Health and Health Resources and Services Administration.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com.
I tried to hide my cigarette smoking. Then I was rushed into emergency surgery to repair the damage smoking did to my heart. It shocked everyone because they thought I was healthy. Yet because I smoked, I had a severe heart condition that nearly killed me. My tip is, you may be able to hide your smoking from the world, but you can't hide from the damage smoking does to your body.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Early break.
Weird things that freaks me out. Unleaded gas still. It says unleaded. There hasn't been leaded gas for 40 years. Why does it say unleaded gas? It should just say gas. There hasn't been leaded gas since the 70s. It freaks me out, but it should just say gas. You can pick what, like hey, we have this, we have the premium, we have
with
the
Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, you're back. DeMo and Ash, Teammates Timeout, special guest Jake Muirheisen, 4-year starter for the Husker basketball team. He's also a legend at Lincoln Southeast. I hear you have your jersey retired.
Not
Is that
retired,
right?
just my Husker jersey's hanging on the wall. So that's it.
And not every former Southeast alum gets their jersey on the wall. He's up there with Bo and Barrett Rude, Alex Gordon,
Nick Baugh.
Matt Hill.
Yep, Matt Hill.
Megan Hill, Paige Hubble, just to name a few.
Jake, you're a big deal. But
Not at all.
But one of the things that I feel is the hardest transition for a lot of student athletes is the transition from whether it's, collegiate and or pro football, basketball, etc., to being a professional life. So today you are a pro by serving as the vice president of business loans and financing at Union Bank.
That's right.
I think that's pretty cool.
We have fun. I enjoy it.
Because now you have taken everything that you learned from winning on the court to now winning in the business. And And I would say from doing my homework, Union Bank and Trust is somewhat a family business that started in what year?
1965.
1965, and started by Jay Dunlap.
Yep.
And Jay Dunlap, of course, made sure that Union Bank and Trust was not just a family business, but it was a community business. I mean, like the way that I see Union Bank, again, you guys are in at least 15 communities, kind of across the state, but Lincoln is where it's at. That's the home. And it makes me think of Teammates mentoring because that's where Teammates started. So we serve the most students, but also there is kind of a history between Union Bank and Coach because Jay had a relationship with Coach Osborne. There was a time when we started in Lincoln and our office was in the Lincoln Public School District office. But once we started expanding, we somewhat needed to separate kind of our central office efforts and the Lincoln chapter efforts. And that's when we partnered. That's when it began. You have been a part of Union Bank for over 20 years. Why is supporting the community important in Union Bank?
Well, I think, going back to Jay when he started Union Bank back in 1965, that's what he wanted to instill in the culture with all the people. And at the time they probably had, 10 or 15 employees. Now we have close to 1,200. And he always talks about, what the values are for the bank and then externally. And, one of the mottos that we all live by is we care about our community, we care about each other, and we care about our customers. Mm-hmm. So that's what we talk about that all the time. And, he instilled that early on. And now we're on the third generation with Jason Muehlheisen running the show there now. And that's Jay's grandson. So it's just been passed down, over the years of Union Bank. And then, we also talk about, what we live by at the bank, and it's faith, family, friends, and work in that order. So you kind of have those two slogans, if you will, that we all talk about all the time. And it's true. And we show up to work every day and we care about all of our coworkers. We talk about, what's going on in our personal life. We care about our customers. We do the same thing there. And then we've got everybody at the bank and a lot of people pitching in the community and giving back to whether they're in Lincoln or Wahoo or Valentine or Omaha. It doesn't matter where you're at. We're trying to give back to the community as well.
Well, for Jay and the relationship he had with Coach, that gift for us to have an additional office space, in various Union Bank locations, across the city. And the most recent one was off 68th and O. To this day, no one knew that was one of the best kept secrets because that's where Coach Osborne would go in every day. He would park right in front. But that's pretty much when Jay kind of passed down that faith to Angie Muehlheisen, who just retired as president and CEO. And over 25 years, the gift that you guys have given Teammates by supporting us space has been incredible. There are so many organizations that Union Bank and Trust are supporting, can support. How do you go about choosing who you support in the community?
Well, we have some, some focus areas that we try to focus on, and kids is a big focus. And, whether it be education or sports or, use the children's zoo as an example, but anything related to kids is something that we want to help support. And that's why I think Teammates is something is something that we want to partner with, and an organization that we want to partner with, and why we have for the last 25 or 30 years.
Yeah. And so kids, so when you say kids is a priority, what would you like to see happen starting here in the Lincoln community? What's the vision for kids when you support Teammates?
Well, yeah, it's just, if you're helping kids at, those, pivotal ages, whether it's elementary or, middle school. I have 2 middle school daughters right now, and I forgot how crazy middle school is, but those are pivotal times in their lives. And, if we or partner with organizations that are helping the community and helping children within those communities, we know that those kids will have a better chance of succeeding in school, having better friends, hopefully graduating high school, moving on to college, or they don't have to go to college, but moving on to a trade school or whatever they would choose to do, but just having more success or having a better chance of having that success. And then they can be positive influences on their friends, on their community as well. And then they hopefully will want to stay in the community they're in and keep that place thriving.
So, speaking of thriving, Union Bank has been supporting Teammates for at least 25 years. I don't know the last time we gave you guys an update or a report, but just in case Jason is watching, just in case Angie is watching, just in case anyone from Union Bank, we do have a few Union Bank mentors. Want to give a shout out to Danny Stark, and there's others that are mentoring, but let me give you those numbers that I promised you, because you talked about impact. That will be the voice of Jake if you were a part of this awesome team. So impact, 50,000 students have been served over the last 34 years. Also, on average, our high school graduation rate is 97%, higher than the national average, higher than the Nebraska average. We measure our success based on attendance, grades, and behavior. So 59% of our mentees showed an improvement in grades. 71% of mentees have fewer unexcused absences, and 81% of mentees report that they are engaged in their schools and their community, and 87% of mentees have fewer disciplinary referrals. So I'm going to pause. And I know I just gave you a lot of percentages, but when you think of what I just shared, let's just start with the high school graduation rate. Knowing that over 60% of students right here in Lincoln are on free and reduced lunch, first gen, single parent homes. Now, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but there are a lot of unfortunate predictors that indicate that students will not be successful. So when you hear those numbers, how are we doing with this partnership?
It's pretty phenomenal if you think about that, where 97% graduation rate, 50,000 kids that have gone through it. I mean, just think about that.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty remarkable. Where again, it's the mentors that are making that impact and helping these kids that some of them are in a tougher spot than others, but it's helping all of them. And to have that type of graduation rate, to give them that next step to see what they can do for their future is pretty cool.
So we're serving about 1,300 students right now, which means we have 1,300 mentors. We have at least 500 students in Lincoln that want a mentor, but we don't have enough mentors. What if I told you that 95% of students report that they are proud to be a part of Teammates?
That wouldn't surprise me. I bet they are. That they want to brag about that, and they want to talk about it because they know how important it is to have that mentor and what it means in their lives. So they want to talk about that with their friends and be proud of that they have a mentor.
Well, if I told you that 92% of our mentees report that they trust their mentor,
that's pretty high marks there too. I mean, because you just at that age, you don't know how long it would take to gain that trust. But if they're meeting on a weekly basis and having that consistency that we talked about prior, then that starts to gain that trust that individual, that mentor is going to show up. They're going to be there no matter what. Now, there's going to be some weeks that, vacation or sickness or whatever. But if they're showing up on a consistent basis, that will gain that trust. And hopefully for those young kids that maybe they didn't have any people that they could trust in their lives, if they have that now, that'll give them, faith moving forward.
And that's really what we're trying to do. And because of your support, we've been able to do this beyond the 25 years. But like I say, started in Lincoln, in the Lincoln Public Schools. But because of you, now the relationship has expanded, because as we have continued to grow, we've hired people like Ashton. We outgrew our space. And so when we reached out to Angie, that's when now y'all want to go back into the office. You know, we never stopped going into the office. You know, everyone was working remote. So I was like, all right, Angie, can you give us a bigger space? Because you guys, you know, you've grown.
Yep.
You've expanded. But there was no bigger space for teammates. But again, talk about faith. There's a ripple effect. And we talk about the ripple effect when mentees become mentors. But from the relationship that Coach had with Jay down to Angie connected us with her brother, Mike Dunlap, who owns, created NailNet. And today we now have a space in NailNet as a generous gift. It's relationships. So help everyone explain the power of this ripple effect, partnership, relationship. It's like we're family.
It is. And if you think about it, you know, the impact that Teammates has made in Lincoln and obviously in other communities as well. But that's why people want to have you as part of the family, right? Where they know the impact that you're making on young lives, especially obviously this being our community, especially in Lincoln. And that's why people are willing to, you know, make that extra phone call and open their doors to Teammates and make sure that y'all have a good space to keep doing the good work you're doing.
Ashton, how does this make you feel? Because this is probably new hearing this relationship because, you know, I've been around for 14 years. I was at this 68th and O for the majority of my time with Teammates, and we've been at NailNet for a little bit over a year. How does this make you feel hearing the history?
I'm a relationship person, relationship builder, especially, and I understand the value of those relationships because honestly, taking my experience from the NSA, and I've got us in spaces that we didn't have avenues to. So it's so important to maintain those relationships and positive relationships at that. And it goes to your point, Jake, about Nebraskans and what that N represents, what that Teammates mentoring logo represents. Like the Midwestern folk, and Suzanne Osborne Hintz always reminds us of this. Like Midwestern people are more apt to give the gifts of their time and the gift of their money than maybe the East or West Coast or the South or the North. So that just goes to show how, one, we align ourselves with organizations that not only believe in our mission and our values, but we believe in them as well, because we don't align ourselves with anybody. Same with Union Bank. You guys won't align yourselves with just anyone. And so just having that type of relationship and that is long-standing, I think that speaks volumes, not only of the Lincoln community, but the relationships that Coach has established with the Dunlap family and the Mielheisen family. So it's really cool to come into something and see that impact.
Because here we are, we care about the Lincoln community, and you talked about the values, that it's about the people. So I hope those that are listening and watching, you know, my guy Jake, who works at Union Bank and Trust, if you're looking for a community bank to do business with, this is your guy. But he has 1,200 people that are representing the community, and we are trying to do the same, Jake. We appreciate the partnership. We got one more segment, and we want to know who impacted you, and we would love for others to get to understand the impact that's coming from you, your voice. Live, Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash. We'll be back in 5 for our last segment.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the TeamMates mentoring program today.
Put lawn irrigation on automatic. Think Judson Irrigation for worry-free service to Lincoln homeowners and business community. Judson Irrigation will turn on your sprinkler system in the spring, repair or redesign as needed, and turn it off in the fall. For service to orphan sprinklers, remember Judson Irrigation. They'll never forget you.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Schwizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwizo.com. That's schwisow.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Summertime is here. It's time to get to Brown's Shoe Fit for their May sandal sale. From now through May 31st, get $15 off all regular price sandals. Whether it's for hiking, for the lake, or just everyday sandals, Brown's has you covered. And don't forget, Brown's carries a large arrangement of sizes and widths to fit your feet properly. Start your summer off right with the May sandal sale at Brown's Shoe Fit, just south of 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Garage doors can break down or quit working at the worst times. At Doors Plus, they understand that a broken garage door sometimes means repair and not replace. Sometimes, all you need to make your door like new again is a few bolts, a realignment, or even a new balance. Trust the pros at Doors Plus to handle your garage door repair the right way so you can get on with your busy schedule. Visit them online at DoorsPlusLLC.com or give them a call today at 402-590-5800. Doors Plus. Garage doors and more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Cobble Chevrolet GMC, and they're having the biggest hail sale they've ever had. A huge opportunity is at your front door right now. Some of these cars we're fixing, some we're not, and some it's totally up to you. New Sierra starting at $15,000 off list. New Canyons at $8,500 off list. New body styles on the Acadias, $3,000 off list. You need to hurry as there's going to be a lot of people heading to Louisville. Check us out at cobblecars.com. Stock numbers G121492, G187747, and G196599.
Advanced Medical Imaging is the largest radiology group in Nebraska, located in Lincoln at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard. At Advanced Medical Imaging, they utilize state-of-the-art technology and blend it together with their compassionate, skilled team to guide you through every step. Whether it's an MRI, CT scan, or X-ray, their precise diagnostics help your doctor deliver the best care plan for you. Choose clarity and comfort in your life by choosing Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard and online at amimaging.com. Load up on meat and more this spring at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, with great selections of T-bones, tomahawks, ribeyes, filet mignon, brisket, sirloin, and so much more. The Mercado has locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, where you can have $2 draft beer every Thursday night from 4 to 8 p.m. and half-price espresso drinks on Fridays from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Select Plumbing and Utility has been serving Lincoln and the surrounding area for 14 years, and they're not slowing down. Select Plumbing and Utility handles all your plumbing needs, from faucets and water heaters to full renovations, and they can even help with your heating and cooling needs. They're also Lincoln's underground experts, repairing and replacing broken underground water and sewer lines since day one. Contact Select Plumbing and Utility today at 402-560-6197, assuring excellence in every situation, opportunity, and challenge. That's 402-560-6197.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Early break.
Weird things that freaks me out. Unleaded gas still. It says unleaded. There hasn't been leaded gas for 40 years. Why does it say unleaded gas? It should just say gas. There hasn't been leaded gas since the 70s. It freaks me out, but it should just say gas. And you can pick what, like hey, we have this, we have the premium, we have
With
the
Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush from 6 to 9 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to Teammates Timeout with DeMo and Ash on 93.7 The Ticket. Today we are joined by our special guest and former Husker men's basketball, Jake Mielheisen. Jake, we're in our last segment. DeMo and I told you it was going to go fast. So my question for you, what is, or maybe it's a two-part question. Who was one of your mentors or coaches who made the greatest impact on you, and how do you continue to carry on and pass down their legacy?
I mean, when you ask that question, the first person that comes to mind is Coach Jeff Smith.
Yes.
And kind of like you, Des Moines, where I see him today and I can't call him Jeff. He's Coach.
Yep.
And it aligned where it was Coach Smith's first year was my freshman year at Southeast.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So it was his first kind of go through being back at Southeast, and just the fundamentals, not only on the court, but the fundamentals in life that he teaches you. And like when you were telling me to get here early, I'm like, well, all my coaches have instilled that. And Coach Smith was one of those people where 5 minutes early is on time.
Yeah.
And just hard work. And he was so open to being there for me, where he would come and unlock the gym at 6 a.m. for me, or at night, or whenever.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to get him in trouble for saying this, but then he just ended up giving me the key. So that way I could go there whenever I wanted. And, but just the little things like that. Yeah. And even, if I got out of line, and he would, discipline me and not treat me any different than, players that didn't play quite as much. And I remember I got kicked out of practice one time.
Oh.
And he would, he disciplined me, which I respect. At the time, I'm like, really? But now you think back to that, you go, that's the right way to do it. You discipline and treat everyone the exact same way. So he's the one that comes to mind, especially in those years when, you're 14, 15, those years where you're just trying to find your way.
And I'm pretty sure for all of the adults that are listening, there has to be that one person that influenced you in a way that gave you that advice, gave you that sense of encouragement that you're passing down, and just that hard work. And someone that's, discipline, I think, is a word that so many students need today, is doing the same thing again and again and again. Practice is what, leads to perfection, so to speak. Man, that was too quick. I got one more question. The music is on. Jake, you played basketball for the Huskers. I gotta know, people want to know, if you play for the Husker football team, what position would you play?
Easy. Punter.
Oh,
no, Jake.
Now, Des Moines, I was an all-state punter at Southeast. You didn't know that. But
really?
Yes.
Okay.
So punter, because here, listen to me. The best position in pro sports, punter, period.
So the fact that I'm hearing that you were all state, I will lend my ear. I'll give you grace, but it's because you were good, not because you're afraid of the hits.
Correct.
Okay.
I played receiver too, but I only had 4 receptions my senior year. So I was a wide blocker.
All right, Jake, teamwork makes the dream work. Thanks again for being our partner.
Thanks for having me.
Empower a child today with the TeamMates mentoring program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strength.